What if I told you one man is breaking records so consistently, it's starting to look less like popularity and more like absolute domination? Because right now, BTS's Jin isn't just having a good week, he's standing at the center of a full-scale BTS takeover. And honestly, what's happening right now feels almost unreal. Because while BTS is out here shattering Billboard history with a comeback so massive it stunned the global music industry, Jin himself is quietly building one of the most untouchable fan power legacies we've ever seen in K-pop. And when you put those two stories together, you start to realize something huge. This isn't just a comeback. This is a reminder of exactly who BTS are, and why Jin remains one of the most powerful forces inside that universe. So let's talk about what's really happening, because the numbers, the rankings, the impact, they're honestly insane. First, let's talk about Jin. Because while the internet has been exploding over BTS's group return, Jin has been doing something that almost sounds made up. He just ranked #1 in the My One Pick K-pop individual category for 109 consecutive weeks. Not 9 weeks, not 19 weeks, 109 straight weeks. That is over 2 full years of uninterrupted first place. Think about how impossible that is in K-pop. New debuts happen constantly, comebacks flood every month. Fandoms battle non-stop, attention shifts overnight, and yet somehow, week after week, month after month, Jin stays on top. That's not just popularity. That's loyalty at a level most artists can only dream of, and it gets even bigger, because for the month of March alone, Jin reportedly pulled in over 56 million hearts, once again landing at #1 in the monthly ranking too, making this his 27th consecutive month at the top. 27 months. At that point, we're not even talking about a winning streak anymore. We're talking about a reign. And what makes Jin's story so fascinating is that his power doesn't come from just one thing. It's not only the visuals, not only the vocals, not only the personality, it's the combination of all of it. Because Jin has somehow mastered something incredibly rare. He can feel untouchably handsome, wildly funny, deeply warm, and globally magnetic, all at the same time. And fans have been seeing that from every angle lately. Whether it was his standout presence during BTS's massive comeback promotions, his buzzworthy appearance on Keon 84's Life 84, or his moment on NBC's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Jin has been everywhere. And every time he shows up, people react the exact same way. They can't stop talking about him. Because he doesn't just appear. He lingers in headlines, in clips, in screenshots, in fan edits, in everyone's mind. And while all of that was happening, his solo impact kept growing too. Because his solo album, Echo, has reportedly surpassed 1.2 billion cumulative Spotify streams, yet another sign that Jin isn't just thriving as part of BTS, he's also become a serious global force in his own right. But here's where the story gets even crazier. Because Jin's unstoppable individual momentum is happening at the exact same time that BTS as a group just pulled off one of the wildest chart takeovers we've seen in years. And when I say takeover, I mean takeover. BTS's new album ARIRANG and its title track SWIM didn't just perform well. They came back swinging like they had something to prove. According to the latest reports, SWIM debuted at #1 on Billboard's Hot 100, while ARIRANG hit one on the Billboard 200, marking a full-scale return to the absolute top. And if that alone sounds huge, wait until you hear the rest. Out of the album's 14 tracks, 13 songs reportedly entered the Hot 100. That means this wasn't just one viral title track carrying the era. This was the entire album making noise. The whole project landed, the whole era connected, the whole world listened. And that matters, because it tells you this wasn't just driven by hype, it was driven by real listener demand. People didn't just show up for one song, they stayed for the album. And then came the truly jaw-dropping part. On Billboard's global excl-US chart, BTS reportedly occupied positions #1 through #13. Yes, 1 through 13. Not just dominating the chart, not just leading the chart, owning it. That's the kind of stat that doesn't even sound real until you say it twice. And according to the reports, this achievement even surpassed previous massive chart moments from artists like Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny, making BTS the first act in Billboard history to completely fill those top positions on that chart. That is not normal. That is not casual success. That is cultural force. And what's so powerful about this moment is what it says about BTS in 2020. Because after all the years, all the solo projects, all the waiting, all the questions about what their next full group chapter would look like, they didn't come back cautiously. They didn't come back quietly. They came back like a group fully aware of their legacy and fully ready to remind the world why that legacy exists. And if you really think about it, Jin's story fits into that perfectly. Because his 109-week streak isn't separate from BTS's dominance. It's part of the same truth. BTS didn't become BTS by accident. And Jin didn't become Jin by accident. This level of devotion, consistency, and emotional connection doesn't happen overnight. It happens because fans have spent years watching him prove, over and over again, that he's not just beautiful or funny or talented, he's reliable. He's memorable. He's the kind of artist who makes people want to stay. And that's why these numbers hit differently. Because underneath all the charts and milestones, what they really represent is something much bigger. Trust. Fans trust Jin to show up. Fans trust BTS to deliver. And every time the world wonders whether the magic is still there, they answer louder than ever. So when you look at this moment as a whole, Jin reigning for 109 consecutive weeks, Jin dominating monthly rankings for 27 straight months, his solo album continuing to grow globally, BTS returning with a Billboard smashing, chart-sweeping, history-making era. It all points to one conclusion. This is not nostalgia. This is not remember when. This is not a group surviving on old glory. This is present tense power. And Jin, he's right at the center of it. Still adored, still unmatched, still collecting records like it's just another Tuesday. And honestly, at this point, maybe the most shocking part isn't that Jin keeps breaking records. Maybe the most shocking part is he somehow keeps making it look effortless. So now, I want to know what you think. Are you more stunned by Jin's 109-week #1 streak, or by BTS absolutely taking over Billboard like this never left them? And which ARIRANG moment has you the most obsessed right now? Tell me in the comments, because I already know this conversation is about to get intense.